Good night after the day we've had.
Who knows what time it is anymore?
Where do you want to start? What's this about? A shocking, scandalous picture of
Michelle Obama. It's a story on the Washington Post. It's actually a big story in the States at the moment. Google apologises for offensive image of the First Lady. Now, this, if you go onto Google Images and type Michelle Obama, the first image that comes up at the moment is this shockingly racist image. I'm not sure if we have it. We'll have a look at it shortly, but it shows her in the guise of a monkey of some kind or other. Now, this appeared on some blog or some site, and it sort of went viral online, and people were linking to it on their blogs, etc. And so Google was asked to apologise and asked to take it down, and they did apologise, but they said they're not going to take it down because the way that the search engine works is that if it's referenced a lot, if people are talking about it a lot, even if they're condemning it as a racist image and linking to it on their blog, you know, that's just how the site functions. It's not an indication of what they think of this image. It's just, I suppose, a reflection of to the extent to which it is being discussed online. So that is creating a big buzz, and the Washington Post is focusing on Google's apology for the offensive image, despite their refusal to take it down. So
it is important that they did issue at least an apology.
Exactly. Now, moving to Business Insider, staying with the US and the Obamas, indeed. India's Prime Minister Manmohan Singh is in Washington, and there's a big state dinner tonight in Washington, which we were discussing earlier.
Which was all I've been talking about. I'm so sorry. And sorry,
well, you're just
James.
back from India, it might be worth saying. So curry on the brain.
Yeah, well, curry brain.
Yes,
whichever way you look at it.
But green curry prawns are on the menu, but as this article points out, they got the wine wrong. Now, first of all, they've misspelt the wine. They've spelt it as a grenache as opposed to granache, as one wine buff points out. But what's more, it's a very fruity wine, which is apparently going to clash with the curry. And so, as this guy says, the tannins and the heat of the curry will bring out the worst in each other. The high alcohol won't help with the spice either. And it's a fruity wine, which won't match very well with curried prawns, apparently.
No,
so,
and also, green curry prawns to me sounds Thai.
Yeah, it does actually. Green curry is usually, it's a Thai dish, isn't it? So
and he's a vegetarian. I wonder if he can. Manmohan Singh.
So
not that I know him personally, but I do know that he's a vegetarian. So I'm wondering if he can eat prawns.
I'm not sure. I mean, I know that some vegetarians have a sort of a lax policy on fish, but or on shellfish.
Oh,
but
lots of gaffes then in Washington.
Yeah,
Great.
so he'll be sticking maybe to some rice and perhaps a sup of two of the wine.
In case
maybe.
he wasn't bored of that already, being a staple food in his diet. He probably
Perhaps
wanted a
nice
big hamburger.
Burger and chips would have been better.
Veggie burger.
Exactly. Now, moving to matters a lot more just grim, I suppose, on the front page of The Guardian. Cruel, illegal, immoral, UK's role in torture. Now, this is a Human Rights Watch report that has come out entitled Cruel Britannia, British Complicity in the Torture and Ill Treatment of Terror Suspects. Now, the New York-based NGO spoke to Pakistani intelligence sources who said that British counterparts knew that they were mistreating British terrorism suspects, so British citizens. So, and The Guardian indeed says that they reported on this earlier this year, where an official government policy was devised during the Blair years, which saw British intelligence officers interrogating people held overseas, so kind of shades of Guantanamo about all of that, and all of this resulted in torture. So people are calling for an inquiry into that. Yet another inquiry, because if we have a look at this cartoon also in The Guardian, it shows the extent to which Sir John Chilcot is under a serious burden with this very broad reaching Iraq inquiry, and that's been covered too in the Daily Mail by John Kampfner, who wrote a book called The Blair's Wars. Now, he's very critical of Blair. He said he's going to get off the hook again unjustifiably, and he speaks about previous inquiries such as the 2003 Hutton inquiry, which was a whitewash according to him. Then there was Lord Butler and his lower key inquiry, he says, in 2004 into the intelligence concerning Iraq's supposed weapons of mass destruction. Now, apparently, there was compelling evidence against Blair during that inquiry, and this Lord Butler didn't call for, he said that Blair should not resign at the press conference after that inquiry. So basically, what John Kampfner is saying is we can expect the same thing again. Blair will get off the hook, and it's just not as things should be, according to him. So very critical of Tony Blair, this guy. And we'll finish with a sort of grim report also in the Times of India. I was looking for stuff on Manmohan Singh's visit, but I came across this. Pilgrimage centres turning into sex hotspots. So I suppose we can wag the fingers at some Indian pilgrims. The search for the divine has ended at more earthly pleasures. This is according to a Bangalore-based NGO called Equations, which shows that there's an increased incidence of apparently child sex abuse as well in certain pilgrim sites in India, notably Tirupati, Guruvayur and Puri. You might be better placed than I to pronounce them, but anyway. So yeah, it looks like some pilgrims are. I don't think it's all sex tourism. You know, it's just prostitution in the broader sense. But perhaps you wouldn't expect that sort of behaviour at pilgrimage sites.
No,
so,
or indeed you'd hope it wouldn't happen anywhere.
Indeed.
Okay, thank you very much for that, James. And that wraps up our international press review. A quick reminder at 9:15 it's on the main international news headline.